Back in Western frontier history times, there was a guy named J.W. Wilbarger who for about 20 years collected stories all up and down the Western frontier and put them into a book called Indian Depredations in Texas. It's about a 700-page book and includes a good amount of stories from all over the Western frontier. Not all, it's not totally exhaustive, but it has about 250 stories of Indian attacks on settlers during the 1820s through the 1870s in Texas. Well, I took the stories that were in four counties, four very consequential Western frontier history counties, Young, Jack, Palo Pinto, and Parker counties, and I reprinted a smaller book with just those counties called Selected Stories of the Western Frontier from Indian Depredations in Texas by J.W. Wilbarger, edited by me. And it selects out all the stories from those four counties. Just from those four counties, the Indian attacks stories still comprise almost 200 pages of attacks. In fact, in the history of the Western frontier, Parker County, which is where Weatherford is, Brock, and some other little towns, was hit the hardest out of all of the entire state of Texas. And I wrote an introduction to this book about how the reason why I selected these four counties, Young, Jack, Palo Pinto, and Parker counties, is because they were actually the locations of some of the most consequential events in the entire history of the Western frontier in Texas. And I make the argument that they're not just in Texas, but across the whole United States, actually. Texas was the most contested ground, and these four counties were the most contested part of Texas. And it was the Kiowa and the Comanches that made it so contested in this part of the world. And one of the most consequential, perhaps the most consequential raids is called the Warren Wagon Train Massacre. And the original narrative appears in this book. It's a reprint of J.W. Wilbarger's Indian Depredations in Texas over these four counties. So I'll put the link in the notes. Hope you enjoy this book.